Welcome to the Knitty McPurly podcast. This is episode 203. I am your host, Devin Ventry. What did you think of my little claymation again? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I love it. I'm kind of hooked on it. I think it only does that one thing, but whatever, it is so much fun. If you want to email me, I'm Devin at KnittyMcPurly. My website is KnittyMcPurly.com, and I'm Knitty McPurly on Instagram. Welcome to the podcast. If you're new, please subscribe, thumbs up, etc. Yay! Oh my gosh. First of all, what? I knit this. Check it. Can you believe I knit this? Do you remember last week I said, I want to knit this, but I probably won't. And I did. So last week I talked about Bougie and Fathom, but I didn't have that dyed currently. But what I did have is Morel and Black Forest Cake. And it is so fabulous. I think I knit it a little bit longer. It's probably just a little bit, maybe another inch longer, but it's nice if you have two of something to have it fit a little bit differently. And I have styled it a little differently with my collared shirt here. I'm so excited. I felt like I had this secret all week, like I'm trying to get this thing done so that I can surprise you guys with it. So last night I was binding it off. I had to take my son to the dentist. So I'm sitting in the waiting room, binding it off, blocked it last night, and here it is. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. Has anyone else knit a Timbo vest? So last time I was kind of bamboozled by the fact that I bought this on Etsy. And at the time, like I said, the greatest bust measurement available was only like 42-ish. And then when I went back to link it last week on the episode, or maybe it was the week before, I can't remember. I went to link it and it was gone from Etsy, but it was on Ravelry and it was free. And a lovely commenter told me that now it is written for larger bust sizes, which is not that hard. I mean, it's not that hard to just add a few more sizes. But anyway, some of you have seen that since last week, I put up the Timbo vest kit, pre-order kit on my website. So if you want one of those, go do it. You can also use stash yarn. I mean, it is an addictive knit. So I'm going to be talking more about the Timbo vest as the podcast goes on. I'm going to need these kids to get out of the hallway because some of it is secret. Anyway, let's move right on into progress and shop news. The Black Friday sale starts now. The Knitty McPurly Black Friday sale, the KMP BFS. And that is the code that we will be using over on my website, KMP BFS, Knitty McPurly Black Friday sale, for 20% off all of your yarn, pattern, kit, and knitting accessory needs. And that starts right now. So if you want to go and check out that sale, do it. If you just want to sit and listen to the podcast, do it. The sale is going to go on all week. It's going to go on through Monday, December 1st. Some things will sell out. I don't know how quickly they will sell out. Yeah, so 20% off. I wish I could give you more percent off than that, but this is a small business and this is what we got. So I hope you love it. I hope you love what we've done. I'm going to go through and show you some old products and some new products so that you can see what is on sale. Some things that I haven't shown in a while are the Joy Stitch Marker Necklace, which comes in this gorgeous box. What did I grab? Okay, I grabbed the silver, and this is a stitch marker necklace designed by me in coordination with Grace and Wood. They did the wood parts for me. It comes with 7 stitch markers, but I personally like the look of 3 on there. It's just such a modern, fun stitch marker necklace, and it's nice to have a stitch marker on your person when you need one. Although, I gotta tell you, I tend to wear this necklace because it's kind of cool and fancy. I tend to wear it like if I'm going somewhere and I wanna look nice, and sometimes I'm not knitting in those scenarios. So it looks nice and it offers stitch markers at the same time. Also, who can forget the Merdogs? Sorry, these are the magnets, so they kind of stick together. I've got magnets. Yes, I have one on my car. I've got Sparkle Dog stickers and regular dog stickers. It's just Merdogs on Merdogs on Merdogs. Why the Merdog? I need to put it on the website because I keep feeling like I need to explain the Murdog. It's just basically a reminder not to take our knitting too seriously, or our lives, or anything for that matter. We can be fun and silly, and things can exist just for the sake of their existing. It's all good. Also, I have the Devin scissors from Kelmscott Designs. I have them in red, gold, and this is called something. This antique. This is like an antique, primitive black, I think is what she calls it. I have those in my shop. I also have the beautiful, I have a couple of these, not a million, the leather scissors case made specifically to coordinate with the Devin scissors. See how that top coordinates with those scissors, and you can get that. If you order this, it comes with the scissors. You don't have to order it separately. And then just tell me what color of scissors you want to go with it. What else do we have? We got more Murdogs. Murdog pins. In case you need in case you need an enamel pin for your knitting bag to remind you that life is fun and good and we cannot take ourselves too seriously. Oh, by the way, your husband called me and said, if you want to just buy your own Christmas presents, just do it and then wrap it and put it under the tree. That's what I do. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm like, get me this. And sometimes I'm like, I think I need this. And then I put it under the tree and there you have it. Okay, so let's get to what's new. I wanted to do 2 Christmas, collections is the wrong word, bundles, 2 Christmas bundles to represent the 2 different kinds of Christmas in my mind. In my mind, there's like classic vintage Christmas. And I did a bundle of that. So this is the 100 gram skeins of the classic Christmas bundle. I feel like I should pull them out so you can see them. So we have like a wine red and a warm caramel and a barely there eucalyptus. It looks white, but it's actually a eucalyptus with a micro speckle. These are all semi-solid tonals, but the eucalyptus does have a micro speckle and a dark green. Hold on, I can't hold them all. And a Merlot brown. Sorry, it's hard to hold them all at one time. How about that? What do you think? This is classic Christmas. So you can get this in Frankfurt fingering in 100 gram skeins if you want, with the 20%. Don't forget about that. Or you can get it in 50 gram skeins. Now, in my like pipe dream of what I always think I can do more than I can, I imagined also having it in 20 grams and having it in DK. And then, you know, the constraints of time that we all work under, those apply to me too, sadly. So I always said, I need like 3 of me. I could do so much if there were 3 of me. But in the real world, there's only 1 of me. So I do have it in 100 gram skeins and 50 gram skeins. This is your classic Christmas. Now the 100 gram, this is 500 grams of yarn. And hold on, I did the math. That is 2,315 yards. So you could, this is a total full sweater or a blanket or a very large shawl that you could make with the full 100 gram skeins. The 50 gram skeins are 1,157 yards. So still a good amount of yarn. You could still make a shawl or an accessory or a smaller sweater out of that. So that is the first kind of Christmas. The second kind of Christmas I think of as just candy pop Christmas, where it's the candy colors, the kind of modern, and when I say modern, I mean like, not like 2024 modern, but like mid-century modern, like a mid-century Christmas in my brain is very candy colored. So we have like a turquoise. I'll pull these guys out too. We've got a dark turquoise and a lighter kind of a sea glass, sour apple, a lighter candy pink, and then a brighter pink. So again, same yarn amounts, comes in 100 gram skeins and 50 gram skeins. You know, which Christmas are you? Are you trad or are you candy pop? I'm gonna do it. Or are you both? Maybe you're both. Maybe you need both. That's a personal decision. So in addition to these 2 Christmas bundles that are currently in the shop, they are over there right now. Go get them if you want. Use the code for 20% off. I also have the Sanctum Balm. I meant to bring mine up here and I left it downstairs. It is in my purse and I literally put it on in the car every single morning. So my car smells like a 12th century monastery because that is the vibe of this balm. It's basically frankincense and myrrh. Does it have myrrh? I can't remember. I feel like it does have myrrh. It's frankincense and myrrh and just chrism, beautiful incense smell. This was super popular when I had it at Easter, and I promised that I would bring it back for Christmas, and here it is. It is here. If you get it in the tin, it's gold frankincense and myrrh because the 2-ounce tins are gold. So it is super Christmassy. Super fabulous. It smells so, so good. My car smells like it every single morning. So that is available in the shop. Did I mention that I worked like a dog this week? As I was getting ready, I was thinking, like, this is like put together me, but during the week, it's like hat, pajamas, maybe I put a vest over it to make it look a little less like pajamas, but it's like, yeah. It's something. So, but I got a lot done this week. There's a lot in the shop. I hope you guys love it. Then I thought, you know, November's color of the month has sold out. And I have December's color ready because I ship it out to my wholesale customers. I thought, what if December hit the shop a little early so that you could use your Black Friday discount on December's color? So I did that. December's color of the month is fabulous. I have done, I think this is my 3rd December color of the month, or maybe it's only my 2nd, I can't remember. Last year I did peppermint bark and I loved it. Everyone loved it. It sold out so fast, but I thought, how am I gonna top that? I think maybe I topped it. So this is, it's kind of classic Christmas where it's got the green and it's got the red and it has the gold, but I added in this eucalyptus. And this is a darker eucalyptus than the one that comes in the Christmas bundle, the classic Christmas bundle. This is more obvious eucalyptus. You can see on here, this one is spun up so that you can see the eucalyptus really, it's very prominently. I took as my inspiration, I don't know how prominent this was, but when I was a kid, my mom always bought this spool of curly ribbon that had the red, green, white, and gold every year, like every single year. And then she'd, you know, and make those curly ribbons. I think she's still a devotee of the curly ribbon. She makes these giant ribbons, like tons and tons of ribbon. Anyway, not relevant. Point is, I kind of used that as my inspiration for this. And then I feel like I brought it into 2024 by making the colors a little bit more muted and by adding that eucalyptus color. So I think it came out super good. We have, for December's color of the month, the sock set, Frankfurt fingering, and in, which way does it go? Dubrovnik DK. So this coordinates with Frost, Bosque, Black Forest Cake, Valentine, and River Rock, and that's written on here in case, like, in a couple months from now, if you haven't knit with it yet, and you're like, well, gosh, this is gorgeous back when I bought it. What am I gonna make with this? And what goes with it? It tells you right on the label so that you can match it to something. Also, you could get a color card if you wanna have that right in your house so that you can see, because pictures online, sometimes it's hard to tell what you're looking at. Okay. Lastly, for the project and progress and shop news, I have some progress, but I want to talk about it in my topic of the week. Beyond the sweater, Like I knit this whole vest this week. I pretty much cast it on as soon as I was done editing the podcast last week. And I worked on, I work like a dog this week. And I didn't have any help with carpool. So I was in the car 2 hours a day. I homeschool all morning. It was a really busy week and I still managed to get this done. Partly because I have little bits of time like we all do. You have little, 5 minutes where you can pick it up and knit. And it's so addicting and fun and fast because it's bulky weight. This is my favorite thing I've knit in a long time. And many of you echo that in the comments. Anyway, last thing I want to say is the Sock Club, the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters, goes up this Friday, November, I think it's the 29th. It's Friday after Thanksgiving at noon Eastern time. So set an alarm on your phone. Do the math. If you don't live in the Eastern United States time zone, set an alarm on your phone because I do think this is going to sell out quickly, probably within an hour or two, maybe. I don't know. That's just my guess, but that's so exciting. I have December Sock Club all ready to go. It's ready to get shipped out. January. You'd be buying it now, and that's for January, and that'll go out in the middle of December. It's all ready, and it's just so great. I love it so much. So if you're a sock knitter and you want to knit through Summer Lee's book with us, the Sock Project, then set an alarm on your phone and go get that at noon this Friday. Okay, topic of the week. I had to smuggle Tom in here so that I could talk to you about the topic of the week. So you might remember Tom. This is Tom. I knit Tom for Charlotte for her birthday last year. Her birthday is at the beginning of December. And so Tom is about to turn 1 along with Charlotte, who is turning 10. I'm going to talk about this pattern in my knitting fantasies. I've talked about it before. It's a fabulous, fabulous pattern. I'll go into the details of this pattern during knitting fantasies, but I just have to tell you about Tom. Charlotte is so interesting and creative, and she has given Tom this whole personality. He is so important to her. Like, this is what makes her so incredibly knitworthy, is that when you knit her something, it becomes huge in her life. Tom, he talks like this. This is his voice, and he's very emotional. Just even talking about how emotional he is makes him really sad. He's just she does his voice. Even if he's not there, she'll pretend he's yelling from another room, and he's always crying. This is all Charlotte. It's like, when you're a kid and you need a way to process your emotions. It's like all of it got poured into Tom, and he experiences all those emotions that are too big for her to handle. Okay, so that's the basis here of what we're talking about. So for Charlotte's birthday, I don't think she's up here. I think she's downstairs, but I want to talk quietly just in case. For her birthday, I wanted to make her a Timbo vest because she likes to dress like me. I now have 2 of them. And it's just so cute. She's mentioned that she wanted a vest, and I got her like a puffer vest. And I've worn my Timbo vest with a puffer vest over it, and it looks so cute. Anyway, I wanted to make her a Timbo vest, and I took her bust measurement, and it's like 27.5. And the smallest size of the Timbo vest is for 30 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make her the smallest size. And I didn't bring it up here, but, oh, I did because I also made one for Tom. You guys, isn't it so cute? He doesn't have any shoulders, so there's no shaping. And this right here is actually the first time that I am putting it on him. But I just she was playing with them, and I just kind of looked at him, and I thought, okay, 1 inch above the armholes, and then the armholes for 1 inch. So she and Tom will be able to twin. So I made the one for Tom. I'm gonna make her the same one, Frost and Fontaine. It's so great. Look how cute. I love it so much. I can't, I'm gonna cry. Oh, it's okay, Tom. It's okay, buddy. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this and get her to not see, because I had to smuggle Tom out of her bed just to do this, and she doesn't know he's here, or she could not handle not knowing what we were talking about. Oh my gosh. So here's what I did. So when I had Tom, she had him on the couch, and I was knitting this one. And when she left, I quick wrapped the sweater around him just to see how many stitches about. And so this is 32 stitches. I cast on 32 stitches, and I knit the pattern in the round for about an inch, and I didn't measure, I just kind of eyeballed it. And then I knit about an inch of the front and the back, and then I knit about 3 inches, and again, didn't measure, of the body. So I'm gonna take this off right now before someone sees me. It's so great. So I gotta hide that between now and her birthday, and I have to make her vest for her birthday. So, okay. So I also have Timbo Vest kits in the shop. Those are 20% off like everything else right now with the code KMPBFS. You can go and order that now. Those are pre-orders, so it does take, within 2 weeks for those to ship out. But I knit one whole vest in the 3rd size. I knit one whole vest in a week, and I did this in about an hour, maybe less. This was super fast. So if you have a little person in your life who needs one of these, and I'll talk about the pattern in Knitting Fantasies, it's super easy to make him even more accessories than what he comes with. Okay, moving right along to the comments section. So last week, when I gave you permission to open your whole advent calendar at once, you guys were like, game on. And many of you were like, whoop, 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 yay, which filled me with joy. It is your thing. Girl, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. You can do whatever you want. Just don't post pictures online. So Marilyn McGreevy said, like the incredibly mature 65-year-old that I am, I threw convention out the window with a great big smile and opened every single one. Then I did the happy dance, and now I'm perusing patterns. Devin, it's a beautiful vision for yarn, and the theme makes my heart sing. And then the creative Knitrovert responded to that and said, I opened my advents too. I couldn't wait. I mean, how can I decide on a pattern if I don't know the colors? Well, that's true. You kind of have to be willing to roll with it, and it does fade throughout. But I love that. I thought that was awesome. Denise said, Devin, I love your claymation. How adorable. I immediately got the Timbo Vest pattern, again, free on Ravelry. Now it's up to 55-inch bust, so total win. I'm going to dive into my stash to cast it on. Awesome. Does it matter that I have 3 or 4 other whips? Of course not. She says the sewn bind off by Elizabeth Zimmerman is genius. I use it to bind off the cuff on toe-up socks, and it works perfectly. That is a really good tip. I don't knit toe-up socks because I don't like dealing with that bind off. It's so hard to get one that isn't either too tight or curly. So I bet this bind off would be great. Regarding Rachel's comment about twisted rib and the flip that happens when switching from stockinette to 1x1 ribbing, if you slip the knits, so Rachel mentioned last week in her story that the sweater she was knitting had a very small ribbed edge, and so she was making it bigger to avoid the flip. That's what Denise is referencing. If you slip the knits purlwise and purl the purls in the first row of ribbing, the flip doesn't happen. Wow, that is such a great tip. So you're just purling the purls, but if you slip the knits, just slip them. You're not knitting them, you're just slipping them purlwise and then purling the purls. Where did you even learn that, Denise? That's amazing. She says it has to do with the tension in the transition from stockinette to ribbing. Actually, that does make sense. That totally makes sense. But that's TMI, and we only need to know how to avoid it. I don't know. Sometimes knowing why something works really helps. She says, your podcast is a bright spot in my weekend. Thank you so much, Denise. Can't wait to see you at the retreat. Ruth Ann said, I got my Advent on the front porch on Friday. I was at a retreat. I got home that evening and ran the box to the car. Saturday, I took the box into the knitting retreat. The 6 of us girls were so excited. I opened each one and everyone was excited. I have a feeling they will all order next year. Great podcast and have a great week. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ruth Ann, for that wonderful advertising. Elizabeth said, my Advent arrived yesterday. I'm going to knit the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. I am going to open it backwards so that the lighter color is on the inside. Jesus is the light of the world and should be the center of our lives, so I wanted the lightest color on the inside. Hopefully I can wait until December to open it. Awesome, that's a great idea. Joyce says, I will be crocheting the Mrs. Fezziwig wrap with my Knitty McPurly Advent. Awesome. So the comments were basically either Advent related or Timbo vest related. So those were the Advent ones. Colette says, I 100% understand your excitement about the Timbo vest because I felt exactly the same when I knit mine. It was so fun to knit. The broken rib pattern is so gorgeous and tactile. I agree. When you get a stitch pattern that is so awesome, while at the same time being stupid easy, I mean, so easy, it's just a wonderful thing. She says, your vest looks wonderful in beautiful colors. I decided to gift my mom with the first one, which was just an excuse to knit more. I've also been looking for sweater or cardigan patterns in broken rib. That is a great, I actually felt the same way. I was like, this is so great. More knitting patterns need to use this particular stitch pattern. Linda Spencer said, I'm less than 2 minutes in to last week's podcast, and I am so happy. Your claymation intro was darling. Your vest is the cutest, and your hair is perfection today. Thank you so much for noticing my hair. You guys, I'm telling you, after you are bald, your hair becomes more important. It just does. I don't know why. I put a lot of effort into it. It's a lot of fluffing. She says, I can't wait to hear what the next 30 minutes hold. And then she says, okay, now I'm at minute 6:45 and I just checked Timbo. What? It's free and the sizing has been updated to a 55-inch bust. Oh my. The chances of me working on the sweater for my daughter for Christmas, the September sweater that has given me fits for the last year, that has been started and restarted more times than I can count, is now far enough along that I will not restart it, period. That sweater will not get any work on it until I am wearing Timbo is very slim. If the next 26 minutes has this much in it, I'm in serious trouble. Kits, yes, kits. Yes, kits. Kits are in the shop. And did I mention that they're 20% off? They're 20% off in case you need one. Rachel Bonner says, I love your vest. It is so satisfying to enjoy the process of knitting something as much as wearing the finished object. I often feel like we're choosing. Do we want the process, or do we get the process, or do we get the end result? But this vest, it delivers. It delivers both. I'm imagining a Christmas vest in that pattern using Valentine and one of your greens like Frost or Meadow or Black Forest Cake or Bosque. Bosque is another green. It would be gorgeous. I had already thought about what I wanted to get at the Black Friday sale, but I may be adding to that list. Thanks for another great episode. I also love the claymation segments. Awesome. So if you order the kit, you have to, you know how when you put it in your cart, there's a little comment section. Some people want to put their code in there because they're afraid of missing it. I totally do that too. The code goes in at the next screen, but in that comment section, if you order a Timbo vest kit, tell me what 2 colors you want. Put it in there and then I will dye that for you and get it shipped out to you as quickly as I can. If you order pre-order items with non-pre-order items, they will all ship when the pre-orders are ready. Also, I'm sorry I didn't say this during Progress and Shop News. If you order the Sock Club kit, please order it separately so that it can go by itself. It's made to ship by itself. So if you could order that as its own separate thing, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, knitting fantasies. All right, now I've talked about this before. This is the Kirby Werby knitting pattern, and there's also a crochet pattern if you wanted to crochet it. And you can see that this little monster has a helmet, a bag, leg warmers, and skates. And Tom does have all of those things. His leg warmers don't come off easily, so he's always wearing those, but the other accessories come off pretty easily. So we have them, and she'll put them on him sometimes, but not all the time. Now the pattern does not, I think, have the heart. I got this, I forget. This is a free pattern, I think, online. Because in the knitting pattern, I think she used a button, a heart-shaped button, but Tom has a knitted heart. Even though he doesn't, it's hurting most of the time. He's just, it's okay, Tom. It's okay, buddy. Shh, lay down. So this is a great pattern. I use scraps. It calls for worsted, and this is DK. This isn't even worsted. This is a mix. I think this is some fingering held double. You don't mind this, Tom. This is fine. This is some Aran weight. This is some worsted. I just use scraps for Tom. It is a fabulous, fabulous pattern. It's available on Ravelry. The designer is named Helena Murray, and I have talked about making like a lady friend for Tom, although he's not super masculine and he can't really get his life together. And so I feel like he should not be seeing anyone right now. Also, I think Charlotte felt like Tom was so one of a kind. I think it would break her brain to see all these other Toms that other people have knit. But anyway, I think I gave you the details of his little sweater if you wanted to make Tom a Timbo vest. Yeah. Okay, moving on to, so here's what happened. This week's story comes to us all the way from New Zealand. This week's story comes to us from a lovely podcast watcher named Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Thank you so much for your story all the way from New Zealand. Thank you. Catherine says, gift giving is one of my love languages, so I love to knit gifts for friends and family as a way of showing care and love, especially if they are going through a hard time. I'm a person of faith, and if gift knitting, I will spend some of the time I knit praying for the person that I'm knitting for. In the past, I wonder if people will appreciate my gift, so I've been reluctant to do this. That's real. The person really has to be knit-worthy, totally. But recently, I have been getting braver. In the past year, I have been encouraged by two responses I have had. Last year, I gifted my sister-in-law for her birthday a hand-knitted shawl. And this year, she had a really bad flu and was in bed for about a week during this time. And she messaged me to say how much she appreciated my shawl as something warm and cozy to wrap up in when she was unwell. And special and pretty. I mean, because we can all wrap up in any blanket, but having a shawl, it's different. Somebody put all that love into it for you, and you're getting that when you wrap up in it. She says, then early this year, I was knitting the Helen Stewart M. Cal shawl, and about halfway through, when I felt that I should gift this to my oldest friend for her birthday. We were born 24 hours apart, and our families were neighbors at the time. She was and is going through a terrible time. Her husband was suffering from a terminal illness and was given weeks to live. A few months later, I was up visiting. She lives in a different part of the country to me now, and amazingly, her husband was still alive at this point. She told me how much she appreciated my shawl/blanket and how it toned perfectly with her dining room and lounge furniture. That is awesome. And that is a huge argument against like euthanasia, right? Like sometimes doctors say they've got weeks to live, but they might not. They might have years to live, years of their life left. And then she says, recently I had hip replacement surgery. Wow, that's big. Over the time leading up to my surgery and as I recover, I'm nearly 2 weeks post-surgery now, I have appreciated how good it is to be a crafty person, to have things to keep me busy and feeling productive when I couldn't move. Seriously, like surgery, recovery, and knitting, that's like the perfect marriage right there. Just before my surgery, my knitting buddy said to me, "What project are you taking with you?" I had been told I'd be in the hospital for 3 nights post-op. I took a simple stocking stitch project and a crochet scrappy hexagon blanket. I worked on these while I was in the waiting area pre-surgery and quite a lot in the 3 days post-surgery once my head was clear. I did 28 hexagons. Wow. And it was so interesting, the conversations this sparked. The receptionist, who was a crocheter but was having problems with her thumb, had to take up something different. The nurse, that when she was in the night shift would bring her simple knitting, as she often had a few moments to knit. 2 other nurses also talked about their knitting projects with me. And then there were several other people who said, I really need to get back into knitting. Having my creative projects not only kept me sane and helped me ignore the pain, but also sparked some interesting conversations. I always have this happen. Like, I've been at the dentist a lot lately with my kids, and everyone's always like, it's like, it's like a moth to a flame with people when someone is knitting. It's like they feel like they can talk to you. You have become an approachable person when you are knitting. And I get so many comments and questions, and my dentist knew that I had a website, and she was like, oh, I was knitting this week. And she said, oh, do you sell the things you knit? And I was like, no, I'll give you knitting, but there's not enough money in the world to pay me to knit for you, right? We just don't do that. I'd be happy to give it to you though, if I like you enough and if you're knit worthy. But that is awesome. And this is the season of giving. It's the season of gift knitting. There's so many great gift knits out there that we can make for people. I hope you will knit yourself a Tom, and if you do, send me a picture. I may not show it to Charlotte because it might be too upsetting, and Tom, of course, we know can't handle it. Take a nap, Tom. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a wonderful week with your family. If you think of it on Monday, please say a prayer for my dad. He is having surgery on his back. He's getting some discs fused, and if you could just say a prayer for him, that would be great. His name is Dan. All right, have a wonderful week. I'll see you next time. Bye, knitters.